All right, how we doing, guys? Welcome to the live. Hoping to get a reasonably good crowd here tonight. I'm just make one small adjustment. So, all the preparation still messed it up. All right, okay, guys, how we doing? Let's see who's here. Where? Just say hi in the comments. Tell me where you're from. Can you hear me? Okay, make sure the sound's coming through. I'll put some background music on because there's some stuff going on in the background and it might get a little bit noisy. So I just thought I'll put some background music on to hopefully dull that out a little bit. So yeah, just a quick update with me. I've not been that busy on the YouTube channel recently. But there is a video coming tomorrow. I've been working long and hard on that, so that'll be uploaded tomorrow. I took a trip to Norway and got back last week, so yeah, hopefully nice and refreshed and can actually yeah, give some good content today. So yeah, I'm expecting anywhere between 30 to 40 people today. A lot of people said they'll show up, so hopefully we get a good crowd. So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to talk a load of bullshit for the next few minutes. And yeah, so the subject of today's Q&A is going to be obsessing, ruminating over the X. How do we move on from that? How do we deal with that? And I'll go over some key points. You guys can ask questions in the comments and I will answer them. I'll bring them up on screen. And if you want to have 10 minutes one-to-one with me, you want to jump onto the screen, we can talk it out. You don't have to put your camera on and you can choose whatever name you want and we can just have a discussion. Okay, so we've got Heavy from Texas. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Nice for you to come. Hope you had a great day. Where's everybody else from? So if you guys don't know where I'm from, obviously I'm in the UK. I live in a place called Essex. Come from London originally. Deb, Vancouver, British Columbia. Hey, how you doing? Hope it's nice over in Canada there. Okay. So yeah, guys, start asking your questions because by the time I get through with what I'm talking about, hopefully there's going to be some questions to answer. We can make it nice and interactive. And look, if you're just here to vent off today, you just want someone to listen, just vent off. It's okay. Just get it off your chest. You don't have to ask a question. You don't have to make anything public. You don't have to do any of that. But if you just want to come on in and say, hey, look, I feel shit right now. I'm angry as fuck. Yeah, perfect place. It's a nice and safe space. By the end of this stream, stick around because I will be giving a bonus to everybody that's here, so stick around for that. It'll only be exclusive to this stream. I won't be giving it to anybody else. And yeah. Who else we've got here? Zara. Hi Nick, hope you're well. Your videos have been really comforting and a savior. I'm Zara from East London. Oh, you're from? Okay, cool. I'm originally from East London as well. Whereabouts in East London are you from? Do you have an East London accent like me? Yeah, so cool. It's nice to have someone from my neighborhood. I live in Essex now. The only place you can, it's quite impossible to buy a property in London these days unless you're mega rich. So, I bought a place out in Essex, but not too far away. I'm in London almost every day anyway. Tracy, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Start asking your questions. Hello, Nick. Finished your book. It was so unhinged and perfectly written. Thanks. I learned a lot from it and will continue to grow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for purchasing it. I really appreciate that. No one's called it unhinged. That's a first, but I'll take it as a compliment. Yeah, the book. The book is. Yeah, you could call it unhinged. It's a big FU to breakups and how to use them to your advantage. Yeah, so thank you so much. Oh, Manor Park. I'm from Plaistow originally, so yeah, just down the road. But yeah, I think people from Plaistow didn't go to Manor Park, and people from Manor Park never went to Plaistow for obvious reasons. When I was younger, there's postcode wars and turf wars. You just didn't go to certain places. Stratford, Canning Town, all those places. But yeah, I think it's a lot better now. I went past that area a few weeks back, and I went through Plaistow. And Canning Town, the development around is just mental. It's so different from when I was growing up, but it's good. It's good that they're putting the work in. Okay. Donald, hi. I'm from Ohio, United States, originally from Dorsey. Am I pronouncing that correctly? For my fellow Gordon Dixon fans, thank you for joining, buddy. Hope you're doing well. All right. Right, before I get into asking questions, let's start with the subject of the Q&A today. So I put a poll out about 2 weeks back asking everybody on my YouTube channel and my private Facebook recovery group, what's everybody struggling with? And the combined results are quite interesting. Everyone's saying about rumination, can't get the X out of their head, anxiety going high, all that kind of thing. And a close second was rebound or monkey branching. So maybe we can talk about that later. But what I get asked a lot as well, and in the one-to-one coaching sessions that I do over Zoom calls with you guys, it comes up a lot. How do I stop? How do I forget about them? How do I stop ruminating? How do I stop the anxiety? Okay, now, here's the first one here. Let it happen. We can't actually stop this. It's especially when you're in the business end of a breakup. It's I'd say it's probably a practical and physical impossibility, because that's what we're going to do. Someone that you love very much, had a great connection with, spent time with, has chosen to end that relationship, and that is brutal. And that is such a hard time for anybody. And the crazy thing is, a lot of my clients will say, look, Nick, I just had a death in the family a couple of weeks back. I found it easier to get over that than I did to get over my ex. And the reason is, and it might sound a little bit cold, but the reason is there's a finality to death, and most people don't choose to die at any time or prematurely. And with your ex, they've made a choice to leave the relationship. They've made that choice to say, hey, this no longer works for me. And it's because of that choice, they've stopped choosing you. That is the really hard thing to deal with. So the rumination is going to happen. It's not going to stop. It's going to be really, really hard. And I remember when I was going through my breakup, look, 4 years ago now, the more I tried, the more I forced myself to not think about it, the more I thought about it. So I tried to make myself ridiculously busy. And all that happened is I was just doing things wrong for a very long time. And it caught up with me eventually. You know, it caught up with me, and then it kind of forced me to think about it. So it's a case of, you know, we just have to let it happen, and we have to let it come out. And, you know, the pain's there for a reason. The pain's there to say, hey, look, something's not right. I want you to take care of this. I want you to fix me. I want you to look after me, and I'm going to teach you this lesson. And once the lesson has been taught, it typically does go away. So we have to let it be. And that's part of the process. Part of the process is spending maybe 30 minutes every day just hyper focused on the breakup and saying, oh, this is crap, this is shit, I still love this person, I still want this person. And it's really tough. It's really hard. What you guys are going through right now is brutal. And I don't want any of you to sit there thinking what you're feeling is wrong. It's not. It's perfectly okay. And if you're angry right now, get angry. That's okay as well. So yeah. Now, the other tough part of this, so this is going to help. So basically, let me restart this. And this is what the YouTube video is going to be about tomorrow, which I've rewritten this script about 4 times now because so many interesting things came up in my research. There is a process. There is a 5-stage process that we actually have to go through as dumpees to get to a point where we can start working on actionable things. And I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to spoil tomorrow's video, but look, these are essentially the 5 stages. We've got the rumination, you have to let it happen. We have the death of our identity. We put so much into the relationship, we forget about ourselves, we sacrifice ourselves to a point, we forget who we are, what we want, what we like. And when someone leaves us, or in any context, maybe you get fired from a job, maybe you're disowned by a family member, especially when your romantic partner says, okay, I'm done. That threatens your identity. When it threatens your identity, it threatens your emotional survival. And emotional survival is everything to a human being. When that's threatened, we literally feel like we're going to die. It feels like an emotional death. Okay. So it's a case of sitting through that process and letting it be and think, okay, yeah, this is really, really shit. And then we have love junkies and withdrawal. We are literally high on dopamine and oxytocin for a very long time, and our main supplier, i.e., our ex-partners, has now left. We're no longer getting that supply of dopamine and oxytocin. Sure, you can get it from other places, you can get it from recreational drugs, you can get it from drinking, junk food, even sleeping around, but it's not going to be to the level of what your ex once delivered. So yeah, that's going to suck. That is 1000% going to suck. Okay, you're going to go for withdrawal. So look at it from like a drug addict's point of view. And when like drug addicts are in recovery, they might take like other stuff like chemical substitutes to get over that addiction, but it doesn't have quite the same impact as what the main, should we say, delivery or chemical was, i.e. your exit. So people all the time come to me, and dumpers do this all the time, guys. You'll be amazed that a good 30 to 40% of my clientele are dumpers on the phone to me saying, hey, look, I don't know if I've made the right choice. My rebound didn't work. My monkey branch failed. And then they start going through the withdrawal. Yeah, because the monkey branch wasn't as good. The rebound wasn't as good. It happens all the time. I see it every single day. It's crazy. And look, I've been in rebounds as a dumper and a dumpy. They suck. You know, they never deliver quite the same impact that because you took the time to build connection with that last person. So, and moving swiftly on, the breakup. When you think about it, and this is what spins a lot of people out, and I say this a lot in my book as well, that the breakup isn't about you. And what I mean by that, yes, it feels terrible. Your feelings are your feelings, and this might sound counterintuitive, and it kind of is. Your feelings are your feelings. You feel wronged, you feel robbed, you feel disowned, dishonored, worthless, discarded, whatever other term you want to call it, absolutely. But when someone breaks up with you, they're not breaking up with you to hurt you. They're not breaking up with you because you feel a certain way, or it's about you. They feel a certain way. They feel a certain way about the relationship not working for them any longer. So when they make that decision, they make it based on how they feel and what they want in the future. And it still hurts because, again, they've made the choice to leave you, which makes it feel like it is about us. And I mean, yes, we are involved in that relationship, but ultimately the decision to leave you wasn't about you per se. It was about how your ex felt about the relationship you both shared, because you both put your 50% in. You both had unique ingredients, and they're basically saying, look, the other 50%, this recipe doesn't quite work for me anymore. So I'm just gonna have to remove myself from this situation. And it still hurts, though. It still sucks. But so this is a case of like trying to rewire our minds to say, okay, look, if this person doesn't choose me any longer, then they are no longer the right person for me. In fact, let that be the biggest turnoff ever. Because if my girlfriend phoned me up right now and said, hey, look, I'm not choosing you anymore, I don't want to be with you. Yeah, it'd suck. I'd be hurt, and I'd have to go through the recovery process. Absolutely. I'm not saying I'm immune to it. It would sting. But I would try to reframe it once I've got my head back. Okay, well, if you no longer choose me, then you're no longer right for me. So, and I think we get hooked up on when we say, oh, this person was my person. This was the one. It can't be anymore. They've stopped choosing you because the person for you will choose you. And that leads me on to the other reason here. You're going to be angry about that. That's okay. It's like, be angry. Be angry right now. Shout, scream, do whatever you got to do. 100% be angry. That's fine. But are you being destructive with your anger, or are you being constructive with the anger? And that's going to be the determinant factor of how this plays out for you. Okay, and look, if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. Any questions about the points that I'm raising here about rumination and about obsessing over the ex, let me know. And I think we can boil this down. The two biggest things that I found that helped me and have helped so many of my clients, and honestly, this has a good, I'd say 85-90% success rate. Two of the biggest things that you can do to help you right now is that if you want to start feeling better about yourself, help others. Now, when I started this YouTube channel, it was a coping mechanism. It was a coping mechanism for me. I was in support groups like my Facebook group, and I was on all the other YouTube channels and everything like that, trying to find answers. And I found answering questions to other people's problems made me feel better, made me help me find solutions to my own shit. And it gave me a purpose. And when I started doing YouTube, it gave me a purpose. And when that evolved into one-to-one coaching, and it's something that I love doing. I love being on the phone for like hours at a time with clients, talking about their problems, mapping out what we're going to do in the next week, month, 6 months, or whatever, and getting them to the other side. It's not easy. And sometimes it takes 3, 4, maybe 5 sessions to get them to a point where they're like, okay, you know what, Nick, I don't need a coach anymore. I'm still in pain and I'm still going through this, but I'm functional. I've got a map. I know what to do. I'm going to start working on it. It's a wonderful thing. It gives me so much pleasure just helping people. And I think that's one of the most important things you can do is have purpose. Find a purpose. And it doesn't matter what it is. You can have purpose in your day job. You can have purpose volunteering at your local dog shelter, or homeless shelter, soup kitchen, wherever. It doesn't matter. Helping out on my Facebook group, helping out here on the channel. That helps. Just phone up a friend saying, hey, what's going on? And it's funny enough that I had a client recently, and we do a session, and she was okay, maybe like 2 weeks afterwards, and then she'd always be back on the phone saying, look, Nick, I'm going through breakup rebound, a breakup relapse. Everything that you say is fine. I understand it, but she kept relapsing. So this isn't my idea originally. I got it. I saw it somewhere on YouTube. I can't remember where, but I said to her, okay, look, this is what we're going to do in your coaching sessions going forward. For the first 30 minutes, rather than me just listening to you, what I'm going to do for the first 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you about a problem that I'm having. Okay, and then I want your advice. And then for the second half of the session, we'll talk about your situation. And literally after 2 or 3 sessions after that, she was good, because it gave her a purpose. She took that anger and she used it constructively. So, right, okay, rather than doom scrolling through Instagram, rather than writing silly messages out to my ex, I'm gonna help people with their problems. And it gave her a lot of purpose. And she went on to being a volunteer at one of our local community centers, and she's doing great. She's dating now, and she's about 8-9 months post breakup, something like, I can't remember exactly when, because it's been a bit of a long process. But that can be such a big helpful part. And secondly, like, get educated. Like, the second biggest thing you can do, get educated about this thing, and read books. Absolutely read books. There are a ton of books that I can recommend out there. All right, we seem to have quite a few questions, so let's get into them. All right, let me just scroll back. That's great that so many of you here. Thank you for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, okay. Heavy. All right, we've talked about this topic before, and you've given some great advice on how to deal with ruminating, but I still struggle with it. I'm a year post breakup, still think of her and often. Yeah, man, that's okay. Look, I still think about a lot of my exes, and we're talking about exes from 10 years ago, and we're talking about exes from 5 years ago, and we're talking about my most recent ex from 4 years ago. It's okay to think about them. It's okay that it's going to come up. If I tell you not to think about chocolate, you're going to think about chocolate. Okay. And as I said with the first banner, is like, look, don't try it. Let it happen. Let that thought come to you, because every time I actually found, okay, I'm going to do my traditional sit back, because my old man back is starting to hurt him. It's starting to hurt. So it's the old age thing. Well, let me rephrase that. What I found was, the more I tried to stop ruminating, the more I ruminated. So it was a case of, when I caught myself ruminating, it's just to let it happen. It's just to acknowledge, okay, all right, that's interesting. That sucks. Why am I thinking? What triggered this? Maybe I saw something on the TV. Maybe a smell reminded me of her. Maybe I went to a place that we both once went to. And yeah, sometimes I'd get angry. Sometimes I would laugh. Sometimes I would just journal about it. Sometimes I'll talk to a friend. Sometimes I just spoke to I pushed that out of the way. Sometimes I just spoke to my therapist, or I spoke to my breakup coach. And yeah, it helped. It's just a case of, well, okay, that was interesting. Why did it happen? Why do I feel this way? Let it happen. Let it happen. There's no time limit on this. There's absolutely no time limit on how long this process takes. It takes as long as it takes. And look, what will happen, you'll get to a point where you'll wake up one day and you think, okay, I actually feel pretty good. And then you'll get to the end of that day and you think, you know what, I didn't think about my ex today. And then that makes you think about your ex. But when you get to a point where when you do think about them, it only occupies your mind for a few minutes, then you're well on your way. But it can take a while, man. It really can take a while. Don't, give yourself a break. Be kind to yourself. Tomash, my friend, how you doing? Hey, Nick, how you doing? Just checking in. I'm at work. We'll be on and off. All right, buddy. Thank you for being it. Tony R. Hello, Tony from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Oh, wow. Didn't know I had people viewing from that far away. Your videos are helpful. Just a question about rebound relationships. What's the maximum they last? Okay, that's a good question. Could be anywhere from a month to forever. It really depends. Now, rebound relationships. Now, I've done a lot of work on rebound relationships. So there's a lot of my videos. I think I've done about 10 videos on rebound relationships on the channel now. And if there's one thing that I found, rebound relationships are much less about time and more about where that person is in their emotional state. Now, I would say probably around 70% in my experience. I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I would say around 70% of rebound relationships probably end within 3 to 6 months. If it's gone beyond, let's say, 8 to 10 months, I would say that rebound has been successful, because I think, look, guys, most of the time, if someone was going to come back, they probably would have done it by then if they was going to come back. And I know that's brutal to hear. Look, don't get me wrong, I've certainly had clients where they've been separated for 5 years and they've been on the phone to me and said, oh my God, like my ex wants to reconcile. It's been 5 years. I've actually even had one that was 10 years. So it can happen. So, but look, it's probably not a good idea to try and put a time limit on it. It's probably better to say, all right, look, they've rebounded. Do I really want to be with someone who replaced our relationship so quickly because they couldn't deal with the pain of the breakup? The truth here, the truth of their actions tells you everything about their character. Now, look, I've been guilty of rebound relationships. So I have to include myself in this. And the truth was, I didn't want to be alone. I hadn't mourned that previous relationship. I was savagely hurt. Even though sometimes I was the dumper, I'm still hurt because it's a case of, from a dumper's perspective, it's like, wow, I've invested all this time and energy in it and it didn't fucking work. That is what the dumper goes through. And in fact, my next video that I've got planned, that I'll start writing, I believe tomorrow I'll start writing. It's all about dumpers' mindset and what they're going through. So that'll be an interesting one to look at. So keep that up. But yeah, thank you for your question, Tony. And any more questions, let me know. And also remember, guys, if anybody wants to jump on the stream with me, you don't have to activate your camera and you can give a fake name on the screen here. If you want to have 10 minutes with me, talk about your situation, jump on. Just type it in the comments there. Yeah, say, hey, Nick, I'd like to jump on, and I'll get you on as soon as I reach that message. Okay, Lex. Hiya, it's Lexi. Same, East London. Oh, grew up in Ilford, now in Essex. Cool. I should probably do a little meetup group for the East London folk. Cool. Actually, my girlfriend lives in Ilford. She lives around that area. Okay. Random thing. My TV just turned itself on. That's kind of scary. Don't know why, but anyway, it's doing something. Hopefully, if you hear a loud noise, it'll be the TV. I'll go and switch it off if it comes back on. Sorry, guys. All right, so Lexi saying East London, grew up near Ilford, now in Essex. Oh yeah, same here. What part of Essex are you in? My questions are: can two avoidants have a healthy relationship? And if a man wants you, will he chase? Oh, Lexi, you ask good questions, my friend. All right, this needs a sip of water. If this was vodka, you'd have no idea. Well, you would, because I'm pretty much teetotal. I don't really drink alcohol much anymore. So anyway, all right. Can two avoidants have a healthy relationship? Yes, if they stop being avoidant. So yeah, if both parties. So let me reframe that. I think I have way more tolerance and sympathy and empathy and patience for people that have identified that they've got something that they are being challenged with, but they are working on it. If they're not working on it, then I'm like, okay, look, I'm out. But we've all got stuff to work on. So I think it's a very important thing to say. And look, I've said this to my girlfriend when we started dating, and say, hey, look, I do suffer with anxiety, and sometimes I can shut down, but it's my problem. I'm working on it. And if I do have an episode, I will tell you with honesty and vulnerability that I'm having a bit of a shit day. There's nothing to worry about. This is what I need to do, and this is what I need from you. And I make a promise to you that I will be back in contact with you by this time tomorrow. Because then I'm communicating that there's a problem. I'm communicating that I need some space. But I'm also communicating to her that, look, there's nothing wrong with the relationship. I just need to chill out for a little bit. And I'm making a promise to you, because I care about you and I care about our relationship, that I'm not going to allow this to be a problem. I'm going to deal with it. So I think that's the very important thing there, Lexi, is are both parties, and I'm assuming you're talking about you and either your current partner or an ex-partner, that you both have identified the problem and you're both willing to go to therapy individually and couples therapy as well. Because I think if you don't address the issues that caused the original breakup, you can get back together and no doubt it'll feel amazing for the first 3 to 6 months, but you're going to be in a breakup again. And it happens to so many of my clients, and like some of my clients that I've helped reconcile, and I've warned them. I'm like, guys, look, you must reconcile in a way that you've just met each other, that this is a new relationship, this is a new person. You have to start the dating process again. You have to make sure that you've fixed the shit that caused the first breakup, and you've got to let that shit go. You've got to bury it and let it die. Because what most people do, and here's the scary thing, 98.9% of all reconciliations fail because they resurrect the old relationship. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, Zahara. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it Zahara? No, Zara. Okay, right. It's been 4 months, and it's been the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. I'm sorry to hear that. On top of that, 2 weeks later, they're seeing one of my friends. Shit. Double patrol, shattering, trying to keep really busy. Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. I'm sorry. That's brutal. Yeah, I'd be fucking livid. I'd be pissed. And it's okay that you're pissed. It's okay that you're angry. I would be absolutely livid, and I'd be hurt, especially if it was with a friend. It's bad enough that they're dating someone this quickly, and it can feel like that you're being replaced. But let's try and flip this. Let's try and rewire the mindset. They're not replacing you. They're filling a hole in their life that they can't fill themselves. That's what they're doing. That's what people do, that rebound or monkey branch. It's not that they're replacing you. Yeah. They're filling your position as a partner. Yeah, they're filling your position, but they can't replace you. So here's the thing, Zara. You bring a uniqueness to any relationship that you're in. You bring your own set of ingredients. Okay. So when people do separate and they start dating someone real quick, like, they haven't replaced you. They've just brought in another set of ingredients. They can never replace your uniqueness. They can never replace what you brought to the table in that relationship. That's it. It's a physical impossibility. Every relationship I've ever had with a different woman, yes, I'm bringing me, and I'm largely the same, but it's a different recipe with a different woman. Like my girlfriend now, like, it's a completely different relationship to anything I've had before. Yeah, but I'm still me. It's just the difference here is that she's brought her own uniqueness to the relationship, so you can't be replaced. Now, as for your friend, well, You probably are familiar with the expression "see you next Tuesday," and for anybody that doesn't know what that means, the CUNT, you know what that word is? See you next Tuesday. They are a see you next Tuesday. And yeah, you shouldn't have anything more to do with them. And yeah, I would simply try to vanish, disappear. It's okay staying busy, but don't stay too busy, because trust me, if you stay too busy, you suppress how you feel. If you suppress how you feel, it makes the situation 10 times worse. And when that feeling does catch up with you, if you think you're in pain now, oh boy, that really fucks with you. So spend some time sitting down. I don't recommend it. I recommend this to one-to-one clients all the time. This is part of their rehab, their recovery process. Is like, look, we're going to spend 30 minutes a day, every single day, hyper focused on the breakup, hyper focused on what happened, hyper focused on the ex, and we're just going to let it wash over us. And it's okay. It hurts, it stings, and we're maybe going to cry a little bit, but it has to come out. But what that does, one, it lets everything come out, and two, it desensitizes us to that feeling. So after a few weeks of doing that, it becomes real boring real quick. And it's like, okay, you know what? I don't want to think about this anymore. And human beings have a wonderful gift when it comes to normalizing everything. And we do. We're fantastic at normalizing. You will normalize this breakup. You will normalize this feeling. It will become background noise eventually. So yeah, screw them. Don't have any, do not entertain any contact with them. Delete them on every social media. Just get them out of your life. You're better than this, and you can do better than this. Don't let them have it. Okay, Lexi. Oh yeah. Okay, now in Romford. Oh, I used to live in Romford. I lived in Collier Road for about 4 or 5 years. So yeah, maybe we bumped into each other one day. Never knew. Okay, I see. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think we're yeah. Lexi, yeah, you don't. Just to let you know, it might take me a while to get to your message, but you don't have to repeat it. It's just that it comes in a list, and sometimes it doesn't come through right away. So if I don't get to your message within like 30 minutes, then you can just say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna repeat it. Tracy, how do you get to the angry phase when you're stuck in the heartbroken, hurt, crying stage? When does that stage end? There's no time limit, and this process isn't linear. One day you might be hurt, one day you might feel heartbroken, one day you just might be crying. Then the next day you'll be angry, and then you'll repeat that process in all different variations. It's not linear. It really isn't linear. I went months sometimes being totally fine, and then I just wake up unbelievably angry. So look, there's no time limit, and this is the thing, guys. We can't rush the process. We have to just let it happen. And I know that's really hard. I wish I had some kind of amazing philosophical or psychological advice that I can give you, but and I'm very philosophical. I read a lot of books on philosophy, and I mean that helps me a lot. But ultimately, we have to go through it. We have to feel. As cliche as this is, it's cliche because it's true. We have to feel how we feel. We have to feed it to heal it, and that's okay. So don't deny the feelings. Embrace them. And that's what I mean when I say to people, look, walk towards the pain, embrace it. The pain's not there to hurt you; it's there to teach you. So it's going to take some time. Just cry when you want to cry. Be heartbroken when you want to be heartbroken. But this is one thing that used to help me, Tracy, and it certainly helps my clients as well. Is yes, we can schedule some time for this. We can schedule time where it's like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to feel shit. But once I've done that, once I'm done crying, I'm going to promise myself that I'm either going to do something productive or I'm going to do something fun. Now, doing something productive, it could be like, oh, I'm just going to deep clean my house. That always used to help me, just like, healthy mind, healthy environment kind of thing. Or I'm just going to go to the gym. Or I'm going to go and help a friend out. Or I'm going to go and plan something fun. I'm going to plan a trip. Or I'm going to just plan a coffee with my friend. I don't actually drink coffee. Or I'm just going to plan lunch with my friend. So yeah, give yourself some space, and be kind to yourself. Mary, how are you? Thank you for joining. Always great to see you here. Okay, Tracy, also, how long is too long to accept breadcrumbs from the dumper? Originally, we were on a break to work on ourselves, but it appears he is moving on, but still wants to maintain a friendship. I would say right away. Breadcrumbing. All right, so I think it was my most recent video. Was it my most recent video that I put on the channel about what the dumper means when they say X, Y, and Z? When, typically speaking, when a dumper says, "Hey, we can be friends," what that means is that I'm not sure about my decision, and if it goes wrong, I want you as a backup option, or I'm going to use you to get over you. That's what it typically means. Now, let me caveat that. Is it possible to be friends with an ex? Yes, but not right away. It can take years. I'm friends with two of my exes, but it took years. And I think 3 years apiece. It took a year to get over the breakup. It took like a year to be okay with like everyone's like seeing other people, and it took a year to say, you know what, we're actually good people. We enjoyed each other's company. We can meet up for a coffee every now and then, speak about life, and go on our merry way. It can take time, but breadcrumbing should be stomped out day one. Okay, do not allow anyone to breadcrumb you. The fact is, Tracy, you want romance. You can't go from being number one on the list to being the partner, the girlfriend, the wife, or whatever it might have been, to being demoted to just a friend. It is not enough. So the next time he reaches out, I would say something like this: "Hey, appreciate like you want to be friends and all, but this doesn't work for me anymore. Okay, we had too much connection, we had too much chemistry just to be friends. I can't be just friends. It's not enough for me. So please only contact me if you want to reconcile. If not, that's okay too. I wish you well. Take care." That's it. Establish your boundaries. Do it politely. Enforce it. Let them know there's a line that they cannot cross. Okay? It doesn't have privileges with you anymore. He's chosen to leave. Okay? That has consequences. When someone chooses to leave, you have to give, okay, that's fine. This sucks. I don't agree. I hate this. But the consequences are, I'm not available to you anymore. Okay? Robert, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Nick. I'm struggling. The past couple of weeks have been rough. Ex is by and left in May. By July, she had a new partner, girlfriend. How do I stop hurting that she moved on so fast? Well, if you've listened, well, first of all, man, like, I'm really sorry to hear you going through that. I've never experienced that myself, so I can't. I mean, I guess it's the same feeling. It doesn't matter if someone's straight by or whatever. You know, they move. They're not moving. It's not. First of all, Rob, it's not moving on. Okay, but them getting with someone can feel like it's moving on. Okay, so look, I don't know the dynamics of that relationship, but to stop hurting, you can't, man. You can't. You're gonna hurt. Someone has chosen not to be with you anymore. That hurts. The only way through this is to allow it to hurt. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, you can schedule parts of your day. So, okay, this is where I'm going to allow myself to hurt. This is where I'm going to allow myself to be in pain. Just like when you schedule food time, you schedule gym time, you schedule reading time, you schedule time to be on YouTube watching me. Schedule that time. Okay, I'm going to allow myself to be hurt. And once I've allowed myself to do that, I'm going to go and do something for me to help with my healing process. Okay. Now, she hasn't moved on. Okay. When people get with someone that quickly, that's not moving on. That's, how can I put it? That's, like I said earlier, it's filling the position. It's not replacing you. That's impossible. It's not moving on. They're filling the position. Okay. Now, could it have been that your ex had already grieved and mourned the relationship when they were in the relationship and now they're in a new relationship? Yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe that is the case, but it's very seldom the case, Rob. So anyway, look, let yourself hurt, man. The only way you can stop hurting is to allow yourself to hurt. Tim, my ex-wife for 14 years replaced me a week after separation with a loser guy who is the literal opposite of me. She has been with him now 1.5 years. Is it still most likely to fail eventually? Wow, man, that's rough, man. Right, 14 years is a long time, Tim, so I have no doubt that you're probably still going through it. It's only been 18 months, and yeah, breakups can take, up to, well, 2 to 4 years in most cases to get over it, especially when it's been that long. They've been together 1.5 years, man. You've got to let that one go. Look, any relationship, and we all have to accept this, doesn't matter how good the relationship is. And look, I'm in a very, right now, at this present moment in time, I'm in a very good, healthy, stable relationship with my girlfriend, but that could change at any moment. That could change tomorrow. It could change right now. We have to accept that any relationship can end at any time, for any reason, by anyone. Now, with that said, the opposite is also true. Relationships can go the distance. We just don't know. The fact is, man, is that the more you're focused on her being with this guy for X amount of time, the less you're focused on your recovery, and that doesn't serve you. So I think a better question would be, is this worth my time? Is this serving my recovery? Is this serving my mental health? And I know it's been 14 years, man, and it's a marriage, and maybe you've got kids together. So I've never been in that situation. I've never been with someone that long, and I've never been married. So I can't say, oh, you should just do this. No, it's gonna fucking hurt. And I have no doubt that after 14 years of marriage, that stabilizing influence is now gone in your life. Maybe you think, oh shit, I don't know how to date now because I've not been on the dating scene. I've got to do all these things. But what I would suggest that you do is just try to work on them one by one. Okay, what's the first thing I can do right now that's going to help me get where I need to be in a year's time? Now, maybe that's sorting out finances. Maybe that's, going to the gym. Maybe that's new hobbies. And when I was going through my breakup, I made a list of 10 things that I wanted and needed to do. Okay, so it was a case of, all right, I want to get back in shape. I want to pay off a chunk of my mortgage. I need to go and volunteer. I need purpose, and I just try to slowly tick those things off, and it does help. So, yeah, man. Look, my best advice here is, look, feel your feelings, grieve it, let it come out, cry if you have to, and it's okay. It's okay. I've cried many times in therapy sessions. I've cried many times in front of my friends and family. It's okay. Let it come out. Yeah. And look, without knowing more about your situation, man, it's impossible to know. But this is why I do one-to-one coaching sessions, is for people in your situation. We dig real deep into it. We find out what happened in the relationship, why it broke up, why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Yeah. And how are we going to recover from this? How are we going to get you through to the other side? Yeah. So, yeah, man, could it fail with your ex-wife and the new guy? Yeah, maybe. Could it succeed? Yeah, maybe. We just don't know. And it's not worth knowing. It's not worth your time, my friend. Okay, Misery. Oh, welcome back. I'm going through a situation where my ex has gotten close with a group of people that used to bully me. Oh shit, and used to hate because of the gossip about me. I believe that there was still a chance, because he said that when he was done working on himself, we may be able to try again. Now I'm overwhelmed and thinking that these same people are going to make sure that it never happens. He's always based many of his choices on what other people tend to do, and not what his own feelings are, especially when he's not sure he's feeling. Okay. This group of people mostly did things through cyberbullying. Now I can't get this out of my head to move forward with myself, feeling I'm just a joke. Oh, that's rough. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Look, I've never been cyberbullied, but I was bullied as a kid. I was bullied as a kid. I know what that feels like. Crazy thing is, now a lot of the people that used to bully me, they're in terrible parts of their lives now, and yeah, and I don't take pleasure in other people's misery, not all the time, but sometimes when you see people that used to shit all over you and they're just like, they're nowhere, and you're like, okay, like you got your karma. All right, okay, so let's address this. Let me just gather my thoughts. I'm gonna focus on this part here, because he said that when he's done working on himself. Now, let me translate that for you. Okay. Typically speaking, when someone says, I'm leaving this relationship because I need to work on myself, it typically, not all the time, but typically means one of two things. And this is going to be a little bit triggering. It's either just an excuse to saying, hey, I no longer want a relationship with you, or I've got someone already lined up. That's typically what it means. Okay. Now, is there a possibility when someone says, look, I need to leave this relationship to work on myself? It's a possibility, but that's typically because you're not compatible and the relationship is no longer working. Now, I work on myself every fucking day of my life. My girlfriend works on herself every day of her life. My clients work on themselves every day of their life. And the people that have now gone on to new relationships work on themselves every day of their life. That's what a relationship is. The work never stops. So what he's saying is absolute bullshit. Okay. And I think he said that to maybe, one, alleviate his own guilt. And if he's done that, he's a fucking coward. And two, try to lessen the pain with you. And that's not okay. Now, if he gets persuaded so easily by other people's opinions, then that is not a good partner. Because if I was to get persuaded or influenced by people so easily, then one, I wouldn't have this channel. I wouldn't have a fucking coaching business. That'd be for damn sure. And I wouldn't have written a book. And I wouldn't be a good boyfriend to my partner. Yeah. A good relationship is bringing that uniqueness, is bringing that individuality, saying, hey, look, I don't agree with you right now. And that's okay. Me and my girlfriend, we agree on like 85-90% of things, but there are some things that we massively disagree on. And it's okay. Doesn't mean we don't love each other. Doesn't mean we hate each other. It just means we're going to have a sensible conversation about it. So what does that tell you about his character? And can that person be with you long term if they can't make their own mind up? If they can't be honest with you, if they can't be truthful with you, that's not a relationship. I'm assuming from what you said that maybe you two are quite young and maybe that maturity is not there. Maybe. I could be wrong. Let me know. But here's the thing. I hear you about the bullying, and I'm really sorry about that. Okay, I know how brutal that is. But the best thing you can do with the bullying and these, look, it's cyberbullying. I mean, that's not even real bullying anymore. At least back in my day, bullies had the guts to do it to your face. Now they're doing it over a screen, bunch of pussies. So, and it got to a point where I was able to get to a point where a switch flipped in my head, and one bully got in my face one day, and I just hit him as hard as I could. And after that, not many people bullied me after. Actually, the bullying stopped altogether. Now, that's a unique situation. You can't really do that over a screen. So my advice to you is to cut it off, is to come away from these circles and forge your own path. Yeah. If you want to stand out from the crowd, and this is the thing, when you stand out from the crowd, you're gonna piss people off. Because if you stand out from a crowd, it's like, oh well, you're weird. Good. If someone calls me weird, good. Fuck you. I'm glad that I'm weird. I'm glad that I've got an opinion. I'm glad that I'm well read and I question stuff. I'm glad that I've got my own mind. That's the biggest compliment you can give me. So if they're bullying you, it's a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of you. Yeah, I know it can make you feel about this big and that you're the most worthless person in the world. I get that, but you are not. You are still here. You are still kicking and screaming, and you're on here asking advice. That takes courage, and that takes balls. Okay. You're asking for advice so you can get better. That puts you in front of 90% of all others. Okay, you're doing fine, and you're gonna be okay. Right? And look, if you want to have a chat with me, yeah, you want to have a coaching session with me, I'll do it for free. Okay, so drop me an email at thelovefix20@gmail.com, and me and you'll have a conversation about bullying. Okay, and about this relationship, I'll do it for free. Tomash, it's not a good idea to wait around and expect the rebound relationship to end. There is simply no guarantee. Yeah, 1000%. Okay. So, thank you for that, Nick. Really makes things clearer. I'm not sure if it's a rebound or a monkey branch. My ex turned into a different person around the breakup. I've cut them both off. Yeah, I hear you. But, look, one thing I'd say, Zara, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I really do. One thing I'll say about that, look, with rebounding and monkey branching, look, the end result is the same, ultimately. they've done what they've done. The only real difference between the two is that a rebound is someone they found after the relationship. A monkey branch, they already found that person whilst you was in the relationship, and they secured that person. Okay, they secured that person and swung to that branch. So yeah, and that's emotional cheating. Either way, don't lower yourself to that level. Say to yourself, look, I've got higher standards. I've got higher standards than this. I don't. This is the biggest turnoff. Someone that's going to rebound a monkey branch, that's the biggest turnoff for me. I don't want to be with these people. Okay, Lola. Hello, dear Nick. Hello, dear Lola. How are you? Okay, 8 months in, and with your wonderful help, I could go baby steps forward. Let me just see if you've got something else. But I'm still crying every single day since 8 months. I'm sorry to hear that. It's exhausting. He rebounded after 5 months and blames me for everything. I'm still obsessed over the traumatic ending and misclosure. Thank you. All right. Okay. Lola, I'm sorry. That sucks. And yeah, I get it. Look, 8 months. 8 months in the context of a breakup really isn't that much time. Okay. So first of all, I want you to give yourself a break and be kind to yourself. And it's okay that you're still crying. I know it doesn't feel great. I know it doesn't feel good at all, but it's okay. I would say, look, rebounds suck. They do. They really, really do. And look, we can sit here and philosophize and intellectualize it, but ultimately you feel it sucks. So let's try and get some structure to when you're going to cry. Now, this might sound weird and it might not be possible right now, but if you can get to yourself, if you can get to yourself to a place where it's like, okay, I'm only going to let myself cry between the hours of 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Then you can schedule that in. Okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to cry my eyes out. Yeah, don't force it, but we need to try and maybe start lessening it so you can start doing things that are going to be more productive. So look, you can start with a baby step. So instead of like crying, say, okay, I'm going to make an agreement with myself that when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk, or even a 5-minute walk, or just get to the end of your garden, and then build from there. Then okay, well, I did that. I can go for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then maybe that can evolve into the gym, assuming you like that kind of thing, or wherever it might be. Yeah. So just try and schedule in. Also, try some meditation. You can go onto YouTube, type in 10-minute meditation, 5-minute meditation. That really helps. And journal your thoughts. Write it down. Write down how you feel. Okay, it helps. Now, this will get better. It does take a little bit of time, but there are things we can do to help that move on process, or that moving forward process. There are things we can do. Okay, that's essentially what I do with people. Really, load up when I've completed a one-to-one coaching session. Yeah, people feel like typically start to feel better, but they're still broken up with. Nothing's really been achieved. We're just mapping out what does this look like over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and that's what you got to do now. Yeah, is start mapping that out. And thank you for sharing your story. Vicky, I've decided I've decided to grade 54 first. This one side into YouTube. So Vicky, I don't know what that means. Could you retype that, please? I've decided to grade 54 first. Yeah, you're gonna have to repeat that for me, my friend. Robert, thanks, Nick. To clarify, my ex and I were together 7 years. Wow, have we talked about this before? This story seems familiar to me. I'm fairly certain she met her now girlfriend during our relationship and had been talking to her a lot. Oh, that's rough, man. I'm also in the middle of alcohol recovery, 200 days sober. Well done. If that's something to be proud of and the focus on, well done. Proud of you, man. Everyone give Robert some love. He's 200 days sober. Well done, bud. She broke up with me 3 times over the past year. Ouch. I'm sure we spoke about this before. I'm getting familiar vibes here. I feel like a failure. Lost apartment, dog, cat, whole life, and I built with them. All right, man. I hear you. Okay, give me a sec. Vicky, sorry, I missed that. I'll come back to this in a sec. Sorry. All right. In my book, I write about something like this. Okay. So, cheeky plug. It's on Amazon. Waking up with your breakup. Anyway, got to pay the bills somehow, guys. You know. So I wrote a story. There's a story about Thomas Edison. And if you guys don't know who Thomas Edison is, a famous inventor from back in the day. Now, Thomas Edison, at the age of, he's went into his 60s at this point. Anyway, right. So he was well established at this point. He had a business, big factory, working on like inventions, prototypes, and stuff like that. And one day a fire broke out. This is like I can't remember the date, but it was like 1930 something. Was it earlier than that? Anyway, it was a long time ago. So a fire broke out in his factory, wiped it out. Okay, completely wiped out. His entire life, his entire livelihood was in there. And this is a historical documented story, by the way. So as the firemen are trying to put the blaze out, him and his son are standing there watching the firemen trying to put it out. Okay, and Edison says to his son, "Go and get your mom and all of her friends. They're never going to see a fire like this again in their lives." Okay, and the son was like perplexed and was like, "What the fuck?" And he said to his son, "Look, it's okay. We've just got rid of a load of rubbish anyway." Okay, now, what was Edison going to do there? Feel like a failure? That was beyond his control. Your breakup was beyond your control. What was he going to do? Scream, shout, shit all over the floor? Or does he get back to work? Within 6 months, he was back up and running. And in that year, he turned a profit of over $10 million, which is about $200 million in today's money. Now, I'm not saying we have to do anything that grandiose. The principle here, the philosophy here, is that your burden isn't the breakup. Your burden isn't your ex dumping you. That's their burden. Let them fucking have it and let them think happy thoughts forever. Your burden is what you do now. Your burden is recovery. Just like you've done 200 days sober. That is amazing. Okay. Now, my older brother is a lifelong recovering alcoholic. He's done the 200 days sober about 10 different times. Yeah. But I give him respect. He keeps trying. That's no small feat. That's a massive achievement. And I want you to be proud of that. Okay. I want you to write that down and say, I'm fucking proud of myself that I've done 200 days sober. So no, you're not a failure. Well, actually, let's rephrase that. Yes, you are a failure, but no less than the rest of us. We're all failures. I consider myself a successful failure. I'm here because of all the failures that came before it. Just my burden was recovery. My burden was, okay, what am I going to do next? If one of my YouTube videos doesn't do well on YouTube, then my burden is, okay, how do I do it better next time? Not that it failed. I'm entitled to the work. I'm not entitled to the outcome, you know? So yes, you did fail. Congratulations. That means you can improve. You now have the opportunity of growth. You now have the opportunity to evolve. You now have the opportunity to say yes to other things because your ex said no to you. So embrace the failure. Yeah. Call yourself a successful failure. Be proud of it. Yeah. And I get it, man. Losing your apartment, losing your home, dog, cat. I get it, man. My breakup, I lost my partner. I was the stepfather to her child. So I lost my family and I lost the home that I was living in. Okay, I get it. It's brutal. But I'm still here. I'm doing way better than I was. You can do the same. I promise you. You've got this, man. You're doing fine. You're doing absolutely fine. Okay, so back to Vicky. We had a lovely 10 years. Then I got menopausal and snappy, and it seems that Sonny despises me, and the worst, it's his daughter and mum cut me off the day he said he wanted a divorce. How do you stop feeling like Tiny Tim from the Christmas Carol? Peering through a window, watching the family carry on. I've been banished to the basement whilst he lives in the... And so, okay. Oh, yeah. I think you've mentioned this in the Facebook group, isn't it? About living in the basement. I think it might not be possible right now for you, Vicky, but the first thing you need to do, you need to get out of the environment that's making you sick. That's step number one. So I don't know what your financial situation is or anything like that, or if you can go and live with family, but that's what I would be trying to do personally. I would be trying to do everything I possibly could to get out of that environment. That is rule number one. And that will remove you from the window, because I could easily sit here and say, well, just stop looking through the window, but you're already in the fucking house, so you've gone beyond peering through the window. You're sort of like looking up from the basement, begging for a scrap of food from the table. So yeah, that's what that's an incredibly difficult situation. So I would look, if it's possible, like get friends and family to help you. If that's not possible, reach out to like your local community, the local authorities, and start working the situation. Yeah, if you start working the situation, it will start going away. You might get it wrong, but start working the situation. Lizzie, how you doing? Thank you for coming. Zach, how you doing, buddy? I'm 22 from the UK. Ah, cool, man. What part of the UK are you from? My relationship ended after 4 years. My ex moved on. I contributed a lot to the breakup, and my girlfriend parents helped her make a decision. It's been 2 months and lost trust in people. All right. We were so good. My ex used to work a lot, 6 days a week, so I could not spend time with her because I used to go to the gym, and she blamed me that it's my gym. She blamed me that its gym was my girlfriend, and I spend only 20 minutes at home for the last 6 months. I just don't find anybody else attractive. She cheated me for 6 months before we started dating, and even in the relationship 2 weeks before the breakup. I just want to forget her, but she has filled me with love so much. I just can't forget her. I can't go to the gym because that was one of the issue. I know she's not coming back. All right, Zach. All right, buddy. Thanks for sharing. Okay, right. So 4 years. So you guys got together when you was 18. That's incredibly young. And my first proper relationship was like 18 to about 18 to like 21 and a half. So I get how brutal it is, man. So let's address this bit by bit. So she's blaming the gym. Okay, well, but she's also working 6 days a week, so there's a balance to be had here. Now, typically speaking, when someone starts blaming something for the cause of the breakup, the cause of the relationship breakdown, it rarely isn't the thing. That's normally a proxy for other things. Okay, so it could be a proxy of, okay, were you guys actually communicating? Could it be you guys were just too young? Um, were you both actively making time for each other? Now, I'll give you an example. Both me and my girlfriend are incredibly busy. She is a senior ward nurse at the NHS hospital that she works at. She's doing a master's degree in neuroscience. She's fucking busy. Yeah, I'm a senior manager in my day job, so I do that. I have my YouTube channel. I write. I coach, and I do other things as well. I'm incredibly busy. But we make an agreement with each other is that on this particular day, on this particular time, and it's normally Wednesday at 7 p.m., that I'll be at our house, and sometimes I'm only there for 2 hours, and it takes me an hour to get there. But I make that time to catch up with each other, just to check in. Yeah, that solves 90% of all problems because we're actively making that time. And even though we're both tired, we're making that time for each other. And that's something we always do. The other thing that we always do as well, when we are together, there are no phones. When we go out on a date, there are no phones. When we're having dinner together, there are no phones. Yeah. When we are watching a film together, there are no phones. So you see where we're getting at here, Zach. So I don't know how much of that played a part in it, but it seems to me that if she worked 6 days a week, what was happening on day 7? How long were you in the gym for? Why was you only spending 20 minutes together? Now, to address the other part, I can't forget her. No, of course not. I haven't forgotten my girlfriend from when I was 18. My ex-girlfriend, sorry. I haven't forgotten her. You don't forget. It's more of an emotional adaptation. Yeah, and it's going to take a while. It's going to take some time, but I promise you, look, Zach, okay, you never love two women the same. You're never going to love someone the way you loved her. You will love as hard again. You're just going to love in a different way because you're more seasoned, you're more experienced, and you've learned what you've learned from this relationship. And that new woman, whenever that might be, will bring a different set of ingredients to that relationship. You love in a different way. Yeah. I love in a very different way now as a man who has just turned 40 to someone who's 18, 25, 30, 35. I love differently now. You know, my wants and desires in life are very different. I don't just want to be having sex every 4 seconds because I'm a horny little bastard. I've got other things in my life that I need to take care of and I'm more passionate about, more focused on. So yeah. Okay, right. All right, man. So look, every day 6:30 to 9 p.m. Look, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but look, I come from my previous thing that I used to do was online coaching for fat loss. Okay, and I'm exceptionally experienced in this area. Now, you don't need to be in the gym that long. Okay. Now, if you choose to be in the gym that long, that's fine. That's down to you. But if you're choosing to be into the gym that long, then you're choosing that over your partner. Okay. So you've got to find a balance. So you could be like, well, can I just go to the gym for an hour? Yeah. Rather than almost 3 hours. I've got to sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah. So that's one thing. It's finding balance, my friend. Yeah. Look, I go to the gym. Yeah. But would I want to spend almost 3 hours in the gym? No, I've got other priorities in life, So you got to ask yourself, were your priorities aligned in a way that made you two compatible? And look, and also you're both quite young as well, so maybe it was just it run its course and it's time to do something else now. But look, this is going to sting for a little bit. Yeah, you won't forget her. I'm not saying you have to forget her. What you have to do is process the feelings that you had for her or have for her, process the good parts of the relationship, process the bad parts of the relationship, hold yourself to account of what you can improve on. And you can say to yourself, well, yeah, all right, she got some shit wrong as well because it took two of you to break up. Trust me, if she was on the line right now, I'd be telling her the same thing. So yeah, think about that, guys. Does anybody want to jump on the stream? Does anybody want to jump on and have 10 minutes face to face? You don't have to turn your camera on. You can change your name. Just let me know in the comments and we can have 10 minutes. All right, let me just go back up. Okay, not young at all. And in the relationship was over 7 years. We were used to protect me from their negativity. Thank you for your answers. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Either way, look, cyberbullying is not okay. Look, if I've got into a position where I'm having to protect my girlfriend from a group of mutual friends that were bullying her, I'd be telling them to their face. Yeah. And if it was a group that it was only exclusive to my girlfriend, I'd be telling her to fucking leave that group. Yeah. There's no justification for bullying. None. Zero. You have to remove yourself from that shit. Okay. Sorry, Nick, typing was bad. Decided to make it a list of 54 first to help me as I'm 54. Signing into your channel, get a new room. Oh, okay, I get you. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you, Vicky. Right. Thanks, Nick. Can't get out of basement. Has been financially cut off. I'm part-time nurse. Now put 14K on car for leak. Oh, ouch. I need to just get bloody through it. Tough in Devon. Is there any family or friends that can help you? Yeah. Family or friends. Okay. All right. I used to come home and make a dinner for both. Okay, that's cool. Okay. So if she was working 6 days a week, you were in the gym 3 hours almost every day. How much time were you spending together on Sunday? Let me rephrase. How much quality time were you spending together with no phones, with no distractions, just being there with each other without anything else? I really regret it, man, but I wish I can have another chance. All right, man. Look, I hear you. I hear you. Best thing you can do is to work on the shit that you need to work on. And we all have it. Now, don't do it for her and don't do it for the relationship, do it for you. Because if she does come back, then she needs to find the guy that leveled up, not the guy that she left. That's who she needs to find. She needs to find a guy that paid attention, that listened and did the work. But you do it for you. Don't do it for a reconciliation. Can everyone hit the like button, please, for Baldy Locks? How dare you? But yes, please, everybody hit the like button. All right, guys, look, we've been going for just over an hour now. So look, we're coming to the end of the live. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. If there's any last minute questions, get them in now. Or if anybody wants to jump on with me. Right. Okay. So I said to everybody that joined the live that there will be a exclusive bonus for everybody here. So what I'm going to do for everybody here, if you want a one-to-one coaching session, I'm going to give you 20% off. Okay. Only for the people on this live. Okay. 20% off. Okay, so if you do want to have a one-to-one coaching session with me where we'll get into it, we'll talk about your breakup, we will get you on the path to recovery, we will map everything out, we will write the roadmap together to get you out of this, to get you on your way. So that's essentially what I do, guys, you know, is that. Also, look, the book is available on Amazon. So look, breaking up with your breakup, go to Amazon. If you don't want a coaching session, this is the next best thing. This a lot of my knowledge and experience and everything's in there. That will help. So yeah, 20% off you guys. And look, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me your time today. Thank you for giving me purpose. You guys you really don't know how much this means to me and that you guys are being here. And yeah, it's always a pleasure. So if you want that 20% off, if you're in my Facebook group, just DM me on Facebook and I'll get you there. If not, my email address, I'm going to type it in there. gmail.com. Right. Okay, so my email address at the bottom there. So you can feel free to email me and we can talk it out. Last one. All right. Okay, Zach, not quality. She was addicted to Facebook videos. Okay, so then that's her problem. That's her burden. This can possibly be a projection of her saying, right, it was all you being in the gym, because she's trying to deflect away from what she was doing. Did you have a conversation about it? Did you call her out on it? That might have solved it. Yeah. But here's the thing, Zach, and I'm going to sound like an old man now. Your generation is the first generation to be raised by social media. It's a different ball game now. And I tell everybody, social media is becoming a fucking cancer for relationships. It is ridiculous and it's heartbreaking. Not ridiculous, it's heartbreaking how many clients I have on the phone to me telling me similar stories, saying, yeah, they was always on social media. We never paid attention to each other. We're sitting at the dinner table and we're both on each other. We're both on the phone. And this is why me and my girlfriend, we have a hard and fast rule. There are no fucking phones at the table. There are no phones when we're together. Don't get me wrong, we've got our phones on us and we'll take calls or respond to text messages quickly, but there's no socials. None. Absolutely none. And if I could say there's a hack or secret to relationships, that would be one of them, is being present, being accountable for your actions as well. And this is something like coaching can help with, because it can help you prevent the mistakes that you've made now in the future. And I had to go through it. Look, I had to go through it, guys, through therapy, through my own breakup coach. The conversations were hard, but it got me to where I am. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. So look, I'm nearly finished the latest video. It will be out tomorrow. Not too sure exactly what time, but I've just got to do some final editing on it and I'll get it out tomorrow. All right, guys, thank you. You guys are fucking amazing. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Facebook group, guys, thank you. YouTube group, guys, thank you. And YouTube, guys, if you're not in my Facebook group, come to the Facebook group. Facebook group, if you're not on the YouTube channel, but you're here now, subscribe. You know, help me out. All right, guys, have a great day. Speak to you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.